Because today we are going to be reviewing the wildest book I have read, but it was so beautifully written that I recommend to everyone. And I know what you think when I say what it is. You're gonna be like, because every time I tell someone about it, I giggle because I loved it so much. So I'll see you on the flip. I saw this book on TikTok and it instantly had my attention from just the title. And yes, we are going to be talking about Morning Glory Milking Farm. I read the Kindle version of it because it's on Kindle Unlimited and I loved it. It's a cute, well-written, fluffy, wonderful romance. I think it's less like than 300 pages. I loved it. It's about my girl Violet, who is so indebted. The entire book, she talks about how much debt she owes because she got her master's and she has so much debt and she can't find a job. So she needs to find something quick. And so there was an opening of a job. It's like, no experience, lots of money, holiday pay, you get vacations and health benefits. And she goes to orientation and it's the Morning Glory Milking Farm and it's farm-based. And in this world, she doesn't live, it's not just humans. There's like the human side, but she lives in, oh my gosh, what's that creek called? She lives in this cute countryside, almost village. I can't remember what the name of the thing is. It's something creek. She lives on this side and that's where there's all types of mythical creatures. There's vampires and kelpies, there's mothmen and there's minotaurs. So the Morning Glory Milk Farm is minotaur. Let's say Minotaur men get milked. And I know what you're thinking. Minotaur men, they don't got udders. No, they don't. They sure fucking don't. They go into a chair, and it's like one of those massage chairs you see at the mall where they lean forward, but it just happens to be at the lower part, there is a big hole for them to insert their literally, look at me, literally, this. She explains the base, like the tip is the size of a Coke can. So it's bigger than this, okay? I need you to like, look at me. It goes in the hole. It gets exposed. And they have a machine there, but you have to wear these special gloves and special lube. You gotta work it up, get a massage, and get it going. And you can either finish by hand, you can get him going by hand, or you can get this machine. And once you get on the machine, it has like swirling and sucking, and it collects his collection. And the goal is to get 28 ounces of collection. And it goes into a glass milk jar, just in case you didn't want to, just in case you're following with that farming milking theme. And the reason they need Minotaur collection is because it is a key ingredient for human Viagra, because obviously Minotaurs, they're set. They're fine. They know what's going on. And apparently if you take their collection, they can do whatever they need to do with it for human Viagra. And because the world is men are so evolved in that type of thing that it's on high demand. So Minotaurs can come and become members here, and they can come as many times as that sounded bad. They can visit the clinic as many times as they want, and they get compensated. And so Violet, of course, her first time is very nervous, and she's like, what? You want me to touch another good what? She gets the hang of it really quickly. And she was shadowing someone like for a couple of days, and then she's like, her shadow lead was like, you should do this guy next. You've been so good and you've been working the machine next, but you got this one. This was 100% on you. I'm gonna let them know you're a trainee. I'm gonna stand behind you and just supervise. And if you need me, I'm gonna step in, but this one's 100% you. And she gets this guy and she treats him with love and care and does a really good job, and she gets the collection and she's done. But at the end of the day, she gets tips from these guys because obviously if you're touching my business, I should be tipping you too. And his name is Rourke, and he liked how she did things because she, let's just say, slipped a little something inside and did a little to give him, you know, some extra love and care. And he liked it, and he requested her going forward and wanted to know her schedule. And so now she sees him every week, and they slowly start talking. As awkward as that is, because when they're in the chair, I don't think he can see her, but it's kind of like Jiffy Lube when you go get when you go get your oil change and you're there, and then you know there's a guy under there doing all the stuff when he's do oil change. Same setup, just a massage chair like this, and there's Violet just doing what she needs to do, having a good old time with collections. Just taking it down. It's so, anyway, it's so well written. I know that I'm giggling because, again, the wildest thing I've ever read. And it's so well written. It feels like it's a real romance. It's not, the author makes it very serious and it's very sweet. And this guy, we fall in love with Rourke. He find out, in this world, if a Minotaur has the bull ring right here, it means they're married. And she asked him, hey, I've noticed when you come in here, you have this ring. Is that like some type of like religious thing? Is it a status thing? He goes, no, usually means you're married, but I'm divorced and it's really painful to take out. And she goes, oh, I totally understand. Like that seems like it would hurt. And you find out that he takes it off for her because he wanted that to be completely gone because she sees him for months. He comes in every week, requests her, they talk slowly, and he finally asks her out. And they go out, and it's so sweet. He genuinely likes her and cares for her. And he told her in the beginning when they started dating that she holds all the cards. She gets to make all the decisions. Any type of decisions, it's all 100% her. So any type, like he's gonna play off her. Want to take things slow. He's got a divorce. She's never been with another species before. And so it's like, it's all up to you. Whatever you want to do, it's your pace, your schedule. I'm down to do whatever you want to do. So they go out for like 4 or 5 dates, and she's like, he hasn't kissed me. He hasn't hugged me. Like, I guess they have kissed, but it hasn't gone beyond kissing. So she has her cute vampire friend who we love, comes over and waxes up her lady business because she's like, I can't do this. He's fine as hell. It's time. Be on 5 dates. Wax me up. I ain't wearing no underwear. I'm going to put on the skimpiest dress I have, and we're going to do stuff. Tonight is the night. I need it to happen. So they go to a restaurant, and they're sitting next to each other in the booth, and he puts his hand on her hip, and he realizes she's not wearing any underwear. And he's like, hey, I just want to let you know, I told you have all the cards. I told you we're going at your pace, and I just want you to remind that, like, I would love to do some stuff, but I told you get to choose the pace. And she's like, oh, that's why he hasn't touched me. So she says she wants to do things, and they do some under the table stuff at the restaurant. She takes him back, and because he's a fucking Minotaur, he's like this big dude, obviously, and they go back to her tiny little apartment, and he's like, I can't do anything here. I properly want to take you, and I want to do all these things, but I can't do anything here. I'm a Minotaur. So he, let's just say, he gives her a good goodbye kiss. And he's like, next weekend on Friday, when you get off work, come see me. Come to my house. And you find out, I don't know if he owns I want to say he owns a tech company. He's well off. He makes a lot of money doing some type of tech communication nonsense, because that's what they all do. That's what they all do. She goes there, and of course, because he's a member of Morning Glory and Milking Farm, he gets the special lube that she uses when she services guys, and they use it, and oh my God, again, I just look at me, 28 ounces. They do things, 28 ounces. And the whole, let me, there's some scenes, I don't think there's some things I can say in here. I have, of course, have quotes and highlights from this book was amazing. I know I keep giggling, and I shouldn't, because it's so good. It's so good. I read it. It's so well written. It's not cheesy. It's not corny. The author, it's a real romance. It's so sweet and kind. It's all fluff. There's no third act breakup. It's beautiful. It's two, I can't even say people, species, two consensual creatures fall in love, and they slowly start like seeing each other on the weekends, and they start moving things into each other's house, but not fully moving in. And she quits. She does morning. She gets a big time job, leaving the human world to go over to, not world. It's divided. It's like county. She leaves she gets a job, a better job in her department, which she went to school for, and she goes, she moves her job there, and she moves her apartment over to where he's at. And he's like, I like how things are moving. Let's keep moving this direction. And, I would like to, this is end game. I want us to keep moving forward, and I enjoy our time together. It was such a cute little book. I loved it. If that is not a way to convince you, let me read you some of my highlighted things, because one thing I liked about this girl is she is a hoe, and I love it. I don't want you ever, I said, I will never, ever discriminate. I'm just going to tell you exactly what it says. At first, I was like, I should be tasteful and not saying what she's saying, but I need you to fully understand. I loved this book. I loved Violet. She was a hoe. I want to back up. She wasn't like just being with anybody. Like, once you see it, she had the dirtiest thoughts. And when she and I are the same, and I appreciate her. This is a direct quote from page 59. And she says she imagined the absolute mess his fat fucking cock would make if permitted to erupt freely, for 24-ounce bottle was full to the brim after he sagged boneless against the bench. Do you understand now? Do you understand? Where I was like, yes, you do. I would like to see that too. That's just one quote. I got other one. This is from page 71. He filled the opening in the bottle. Like last time, he was completely erect, hanging stiffly above, like a particularly decadent, juicy-looking fruit. Page 73. It was all she could do not to climb the steps and flip him over on the milking table, crawl abroad his broad chest, straddle his hips, and show him just how personal her touch could be. And page 95, she's talking about how she thinks she's gonna get fired because she got called up into the office because she's like thinking that her bosses are hearing her inner fantasies. Like, hey, this is again page 95. Hey, Violet, we know about your inappropriate fantasies. The janitorial staff has been notified. Hey, Violet, we know about your inappropriate fantasies. The janitorial staff has notified us of the snail trail you leave behind at your workbench. Please collect your things. There's an inside joke amongst me and my closest of friends and husbands about snail trails. So this resonates so hard with me that I'm like, yes. Violet makes friends with the vampire, and the vampire's talking about like, once you get within your species, you're never going back to a normal human. And so Violet says, so you're saying every human in town is only here because they want to be dicked down by other species? Yes. When she said dick down, she had my heart. She had it before, but this is why I relate to her as a woman, because I say dick down on a daily basis. Daily basis. There's 4 books total in this series. It goes with other couples of different species. The next one's the Mothman one, and I want to read that one as well. This is just, these books, even the author says these are all good cotton candy fluff. Everything's sweet and wonderful. There's no breakups. It's just pure happiness. It's a good way to break up romantasy. I read this as a good breakup. I loved it. I saw it on TikTok, and everyone's like, at first it's like, ha ha ha, morning glory milking farm. But it's well written. It's a cute love story. It's a cute romance. It's fairy tales and wonderfulness and bubblegums and sugar drops, and like, it's beautiful. And so I do want to read the other ones. It's a good break and a good change from what I normally read. So I strongly recommend this. 5 out of 5. Obviously, I loved it. If you're into good smut, that's it. heavy details. She isn't some smut that not smut. You know, she goes into heavy details. She's not using like poetry when she's explaining things. She's explaining things in great detail, and I loved this book. I recommend it. I know everyone thinks it's funny, and when I explain to people, I have a hard time not laughing too, but I really enjoyed this book. I would read this book again. I would recommend it to anyone. It's anyone above 18. Kind of not gonna be like, hello, child. It's a good book. I recommend it. Let me know if you guys read it. Please let me know, because everyone I've talked to or I've seen on TikTok say like they starts off as the joke, but they end up really enjoying this book. I would like to know if you guys read it, if you're going to read it. If it's too much, too vulgar for you, I'm sorry. That's just how I am. I enjoyed it. Let me know if you guys liked it, and I'll see you in the next.